Mr. President, if you're listening, I want to talk to you today about your decision to breach the Iran deal, because I think you've been kind of misled by some of the people around you, especially the guy with the mustache. And I know you must be busy with golf games to play and porn stars to pay off.
My attorney and I are committed to making sure that everyone finds out the truth.
So I'll try and keep this as brief and simple and to the point as possible. Mr. President, the Iran nuclear deal, the JCPOA, was working. And it wasn't just working, it was in the national security interest of the United States. Don't take my word for it. Listen to your own Defense Secretary, retired General James Mattis, who you love, by the way.
Secretary Mattis, who is doing a great job. Thank you.
Mattis said he backed the deal after reading it 3 times.
I've read it now 3 times, all 156 pages or whatever it is. What is in there is actually pretty robust as far as our intrusive ability to get in.
It's robust and intrusive, he said. Yet you declared in the White House on Tuesday,
the Iran deal is defective at its core.
Well, hold on. How many times have you read the deal? Now, okay, fair enough. You're the president. You're a busy man. I get it. Fox and Friends doesn't watch itself. And the agreement doesn't have many colourful, pretty pictures in it. Hard to follow. I get it. But, Mr. President, it wasn't just Defence Secretary Mattis who wanted you to stay in the deal. There's General Joseph Dunford, too, America's top general, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. There's General John Hyten, head of U.S. Strategic Command. General Joseph Votel, head of U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM. They all told Congress that Iran wasn't violating the terms of the deal, that the deal was preventing Iran from building nuclear weapons, and you just ignored them. Look, Mr. President, I know right now you want to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for ending the war on the Korean Peninsula. You really want one, don't you?
That's very nice, thank you. That's very nice. Nobel.
But do you really think the North Korean government is going to do a nuclear deal with you if you've just violated a nuclear deal that was done with Iran? Why would they trust you to stick to the terms of any agreement you signed with them? I mean, we all know you're a prolific liar whose word has no value. But by violating the Iran deal this past week, by announcing you're pulling out, you sent a message to the world that the US government as a whole cannot be trusted either to stick to any kind of deals or agreements. Again, don't listen to me. Listen to General Dunford.
It makes sense to me that our holding up agreements that we have signed, unless there's a material breach, would have an impact on others' willingness to sign agreements.
Now, I know you said on Tuesday that Iran can't be trusted. And look, no one's saying that the Iranian government isn't guilty of a lot of bad shit, especially in places like Syria. But the fact is that at least 8 different reports from the IAEA, the UN agency charged with stopping the spread of nukes, 8 different reports say Iran hasn't been cheating, that Iran has been sticking to the terms of the nuclear deal. I know, you'll say, but what about the Israelis? The Israelis say Iran was cheating. The Israelis claim to have a smoking gun. You called it...
Today, we have definitive proof that this Iranian promise was a lie.
You've been listening to Bibi, haven't you?
Iran is brazenly lying. The Iran deal, the nuclear deal, is based on lies. Iran lied.
Now, Prime Minister Netanyahu admittedly has a flair for the dramatic. He has the gift of the gab. He's a very good friend of yours. And let's be honest, that scary presentation of his was only for you. You were his audience of one, Mr. President. But Netanyahu doesn't actually speak for the Israeli security establishment, who actually quite like the Iran deal. They actually support it. Yeah, I know. It's hard to believe. You haven't heard their names mentioned on Fox or Breitbart, have you? People like General Gadi Eisenkot, the head of Israel's military, or Ephraim Halevi, former director of Israel's spy agency, Mossad, or Ehud Barak, the former prime minister, former defense minister, Israel's most decorated soldier, who says pulling out of the nuclear deal is a mistake. Even Bibi's own former national security advisor, U.S Iran, said on TV this week that Netanyahu offered no smoking gun.
So I thought that was it.
No smoking gun for you, huh?
But, in fact, none. At no point was there any indication, any piece of information that they violated the various clauses of the agreement.
Mr. President, I know and you know that the real reason you hate the Iran deal is because it was signed by the black dude. I get it. You want to reverse anything and everything that Barack Hussein Obama signed his Kenyan Muslim name to. But remember, this wasn't a deal signed only between Obama and Iran. Your allies, Mr. President, the Germans, the Brits, the French, they signed that deal, the JCPOA as well, and they plan on staying in that deal.
Thank you. Thank you.
I like him a lot.
Listen to what your friend, the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, said in front of Congress last week.
We will not leave the JCPOA because we signed it.
So I know you want to scrap it because of Obama, but it's not just Obama who supports the Iran deal. It's also your European allies, your own defense secretary and top generals, Israel's top general, and almost all of the top nuclear non-proliferation experts out there. So, Mr. President, I have some bad news. Because you listened to Benjamin Netanyahu and to John Bolton and to the Saudis about an agreement that you clearly haven't read with a country you probably couldn't find on a map, you're now much, much less likely than you already were to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Sorry. The North Koreans are going to be much more suspicious. You've pissed off your allies in Europe, and you've put the United States on a pathway to yet another potentially disastrous Middle East war. The kind of Middle East war you slammed on the campaign trail.
And look at the mess we have. We've destabilized the Middle East, and it's a mess.
So well done. In your pretty transparent attempt to undo the entire Obama presidency, you may just have screwed your own, and screwed the rest of us, the entire world. Good job, Mr. President. Anyways, I'm done. You can get back to working on your swing.